These 2 bullet points are bullet points that Carmen Martinez from the Housing Committee is going to talk on. So there's particularly no real outside agency coming there, but she's going to talk on this issue. We cut out the Empire Study Group, who was going to originally present. I had to amend it because my fault. I didn't send it to the proper committee prior. What happened with that, and I want to explain to y'all, I received the email, the board received the email, and I received the email from New York State Senator Hamilton's office regarding a group that wants to come and speak on the Empire Study Group. I'm thinking it's someone from Senator Hamilton's office coming, so we're trying to say, okay, they're going to probably shed light and give some light on the issue, but then I found out later on that it was someone from MTOP and other various groups who's going to speak and present, and I was like, oh, we can't really do that.
Okay.
So I had to really follow protocol, and I had to follow, so I'm sending it to.
Flack on that tomorrow.
I know, and I had to get prepared.
Yeah, you're gonna get serious flack on that tomorrow.
But I sent the email out.
But you did the right
what I'm
thing.
gonna do, I sent the email out this morning to Jarvis and Senator Hamilton's office, and also sent the email out to Alicia Boyd and Professor Angadi, who was supposed to present, letting them know, and I copied the board. And I'm gonna send it to the chairs as well, letting them know the email that went out, so we all can be at abreast saying, well, he did contact them. Neither one of them got back in contact with me or the board saying anything else, so we don't know what to expect tomorrow. But just to put that out there, because I think what happened before during Pearl's times is that they would just put it on there without going through any particular committee. And
Which committee is it going?
It's going to go to the York Committee. It will go to the York Committee, which is from Michael LeBurd. Okay. That's that. So that's this right here. Then we're going to go right into, I think it's going to be a pretty short, it's going to be a pretty short meeting tomorrow, because then we go from these 2 items right into public comment period. So whoever calls into the board office, Terry will give that information to us, and we'll let them speak. Then we go to approving the minutes. I didn't put that in the bullet, but I want to share with you about the minutes. Committee reports, which all the committees were coming up to speak on their committee reports. Then we're voting on agenda items that we didn't get a chance to vote on in December because we lost quorum during business session. We did my chairman's report. So pretty streamlined meeting, all right? So the notes for tonight, and I want everyone to just please chime in.
Oh,
Yeah, wait.
Wait for Michael to come in.
Michael is it?
Yeah, he is. So we're moving on from here. The first bullet point I want to talk about, and I want everyone, because you're our chairs, we should chime in. We should chime in and comment on anything that we talk about tonight. And because of the open meetings law, I just want to let you know that we do have wonderful friends in the video camera here. So, all right. The first bullet I want to talk about is touching base with all chairs, touching base with Terry before the beginning of the following month to set up your committee dates and meeting dates, so we can put it on our website. I know Terry has, good evening, Michael. Good evening. I know Terry has dates already set. And good evening, Ms. Baker.
Good evening.
Terry has already set dates for the committee meetings. However, sometimes, I think recently, there have been committees who were fluctuating their certain dates. So we're trying to keep our website tip-top up to date. So residents are saying, oh, it's not on that website. No, we did it a month before. So we already have it up there. So if you know the dates, or if you're thinking that the following month you're going to switch your date for any reason, just send an email to Terry and CC me so we can update it accordingly. We're talking about the dates for any meetings prior month. If you know it's going to change, just send that date to Terry and CC me so we can keep that abreast. Also, just not to go too far, to Warren and Michael LeBurd and Pat Baker, we talked about the agenda for tomorrow. Talked about how it was amended, removing Empire Study Group. I sent the email out to them advising them that it's just going to go to your committee, which is your committee first, prior to going to the full board and to see the presentation. And we removed also the bridge project that was originally on here because there's a pending lawsuit on that, so I had to remove that off of the agenda.
Mr. Chair,
yes,
should 2 and 3 be removed as well? Because I'm not sure they went to committee either.
These 2 are Carmen's, and they did go to committee. She's going to speak on that tonight.
She did? She said they went through?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's actually supposed to be here tonight to speak on that. She
Okay.
actually asked to put this on the agenda because they came to her.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping she comes so
Okay.
she can
Yeah.
update us on this. So again, so the first bullet is touching base with Terry, getting your meetings for the next date. And if, this is important too, that me and Terry was talking about, if you know that you're not gonna have a meeting that night, for any reason, try to reach out to Terry early in the day, because she texts me and I don't know. So Terry's here, so she wants to make sure she can send the email out with ample time, because it's only her, so she don't want to be swamped, all right? The next thing is turning in committee minutes on a timely basis on our, according to our bylaws, and it's supposed to be 3 days after initial meeting. I know sometimes everybody gets busy with their work schedules, including myself, but we get it 3 days in, within a week time. Within a week's time of your initial meeting. Any questions on that? Yes, Tim.
If I mean, with the overall board minutes, they tend to be like a month or two behind.
I'm going to talk about that tonight. Excuse me.
Pro mile, she's ditching it. Ding.
Hey, Jackie.
How about you guys, but it's hard to take minutes while you're trying to run a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that tonight.
So to go on that point, what you're saying, and have it here, the general board meetings, and I wanted to bring into this, we talked about the executive committee, but now the committee chairs are going to be part of the executive committee. Stuart Balberg, I've approached him on several occasions. It's totally unacceptable. When we have our general meetings, he's supposed to have the minutes within 3 days. Granted, because there's so much to transcribe, we try to give him a week. But he does the minutes for the prior month, the day of the next month, in the morning. And that's totally unacceptable. And that's why I find out we've been back on our minutes, and we don't have April's of last year, we don't have, I think, November of last year or something like that. So we're back behind. I told Stuart, I said, Stuart, we need you to do these minutes. And I know he was sick last year.
Maybe he needs help.
So I know he was sick last year. So what we talked about, I don't know if you noticed, but I've had Kyra Lee, who's been coming in and sitting and taking in the minutes. But I know she has a heavy school load of work. And I'm going to put it out tomorrow to see if there's a board member who wants to help. And I know you do wonderful minutes in our executive committee meetings, but I don't want to, put so much on you. But we do have a tape recorder.
Yeah.
Is there money in the budget to pay somebody to be our secretary?
We would have to hire someone, but we're going to pay a salary for Terry, then we're going to pay a salary for a new district manager, and then we need an assistant to help out in the office. It's not, we have to use one of the 48 board members. Appointed board member to take the minutes. So, I don't know who's going to volunteer to do that, because I know a lot of people don't like doing minutes.
So what about rotating volunteers?
That's a good point. That's a good idea.
This way nobody can say no.
Or I feel locked into.
Well, we only have to do it once every 48 months, right?
Yeah, everybody takes a shot at it.
So wait,
We'll be going by that.
what is this person's responsible for doing?
Just taking the minutes.
So what is Stuart responsible for?
Taking the minutes. But Stuart comes in late.
Ah, okay.
And we have the tape recorder that records it, but we need someone to come in on time, start recording the minutes, and coming back to the office to transcribe it from the tape recorder and or videotape of the minutes so we can send it to, disseminate to everyone on a timely basis, not the following month, before the next new meeting. So it's unacceptable.
So I'll take the first shot.
So you're gonna do tomorrow meeting.
Yeah, I'll take the first
So
shot.
even if Stuart comes in,
Even if he
you
comes
still
in.
can continue writing.
Yeah.
Does Stewie know about this?
Yes, I spoke to Stuart about it.
I'll take the first shot.
But he still says that he wants to do the minutes. He doesn't want to be removed. And I don't want to remove him, but we need a backup plan.
The history here is that no one else would run
This
the
is true.
secretary, so we begged Stewie.
Okay.
So let's treat him with dignity.
Okay, there's point of order. Secretary is a position on the executive committee.
It is.
So we got rotating secretaries, we don't have a secretary.
No.
If we,
You're saying Stewart's the secretary.
Stewart's the
He still
secretary for
holds the
executive,
title.
he still holds the
He's
position.
He's an elected official, he's
Yeah.
elected.
Yeah,
We're
he,
just-
we're not gonna remove him.
They're just assisting.
You're just helping them.
Yeah.
out.
But
So then,
Secretary's doing-
whoever's taking the notes and sends it to him? I
No.
mean, it is an official position.
No, he is an official position. Whoever takes the notes, the person's just gonna be the backup to Stewart. So whoever's person's taking the notes, they're gonna actually transcribe their notes as well and send it to Terry. Stewart can still do the minutes, but if he doesn't come on time, we got that person taking the minutes in the beginning. So we
How
wanna
about
catch
letting
everything.
Stewart catch up with whatever is behind? And the person who is assisting him or,
Yeah.
or spotting him can take it forward, and then he just gotta catch up.
So then that person, but you see, the whole thing is this. We're still gonna have Stewart coming in the following month, the day of the meeting, to do the minutes, transcribing it.
So why don't we get a new secretary unless?
We can do that. That's what I wanna bring before the board, to make a motion to I wanna give Stewart opportunity, saying,
Does he want the gig?
that's what I wanna ask him. He keeps saying that he wants to do it, but I wanna give him an opportunity, still, we, as a board, this is not gonna work.
But to Warren's point, nobody wanted it.
Nobody,
So I mean, maybe
I gotta
somebody
pitch it out
now
again.
would
Somebody
want
may
it.
want it
So,
now.
yeah, maybe somebody now would want it, but.
Yeah, but hold on a second, you can't have two sets of minutes.
no, we're gonna have one
Hold on,
set.
If you're gonna have someone send a set of minutes to
Mhm.
Terry, and Stewie's gonna have his minutes,
Okay.
that's two sets of minutes.
So the person that takes the minutes will send it to what,
Stewart.
Stewart?
Stewart.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're gonna be, we're relying on Stewart
The only
to
one who
transcribe the
authorized
minutes.
to do it is Stewie.
Okay.
So then Stewart, but then we still go back in circles.
My-
She's still
my-
gonna have that backup,
Stewart waiting for him.
waiting for him to actually catch up.
My suggestion is,
So you-
why don't you have the assistant meet with Stuart and make sure that minutes is done?
We can do
And
that.
then send it to Terry.
Yeah, what's his,
You know,
does he have a
Busy
particular
schedule
issue
or
or
something,
we
you know.
haven't talked to him yet?
I spoke to him, and all he says is, I can't do it on the times that he was supposed to do it, he's busy.
What's to prevent Terry from doing it? She's gonna have to type them up anyway.
She types them up after,
But why did she do the minutes?
So does Stu listen to the tape and then type
He does.
them down?
he listens to the tape, I
And
watch
then
him,
gives
he
them
does,
to
he listens to the
Terry,
tape and he
then-
watches the videotape.
And then Terry cleans it up?
But that's the thing, it's like if Terry's gonna spend all that time cleaning it up, she might as well just.
Why don't
Exactly.
you just tell Stewie the next meeting's the 30th?
You.
So what are we gonna do, have board members take minutes?
Why don't we get Stewie like a speech to text thing and he can feed it in there and just give it to Terry, it'll take 5 minutes.
We could
I
do
don't know,
that.
we should, I guess.
Terry's
That's
getting paid
a
enough, so
good idea.
she could,
That's
I
a
sort
good
of
idea.
feel like if she's gonna be, she kinda has to be there.
yeah,
Yes.
Right?
yeah.
So she can be in charge of the minutes, and then she can send them to Stewie and to you. And you guys can
She's
take-
not required to be at the meeting,
Can't do
the
it.
district manager's required
Hold
to be
on.
there.
Yeah,
and the
Terry
chair.
doesn't have to.
She's not required to be there.
She has been now.
She's only came to help me out.
The
she's
secretary
not
was
required.
elected to generate the minutes.
I was about to say
But on
that,
most boards that I
you know.
sit, that secretary is more of an honorary position than somebody else is.
What about
who's
com-
getting
but-
paid is actually.
But the community board's secretaries is different.
It's not
Yes.
honorary.
It's
Oh, yeah.
different. Yeah, it's not.
Because he
Well-
was duly elected, and that's
Exactly,
Right.
and he's the secretary.
not that we are trying to push him out, we're just trying to make sure that we get the minutes done in a
Mhm.
timely manner so that the board can get the minutes in a timely manner. So we're just working at trying to figure out a way, how we can make that happen. And
But it's second-
Demetrius has spoken to him and it don't seem.
And I spoke to him personally. I spoke to the president of Terry, and it's still. I mean, this is from last year, and it's still doing the same.
So the way I see it, you have two choices.
Mm-hmm.
Either you have Terry do it, or we all take turns to do this with Stuart. I don't see any other choice. Or you hire somebody else. That's your third choice.
Then
Or like somebody else.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say
Oh, was
that's.
it, elect somebody?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah,
Can I have the floor?
sure.
September, October, November, December, he's had enough warnings, we need a new
Yes.
secretary.
Yep.
I'm not sure what's going on,
Yep.
we need to move forward.
I agree.
I totally agree.
I agree.
I totally agree.
How do we make that happen? Do we have to go into executive session to talk about this? Do we go to the executive committee? What do we have to
I
do?
think it should go before the executive committee. Ms. Baker?
Yes, I think so.
So we'll bring it before the executive
And,
committee.
and when we bring this in front of the executive committee, I think we should go into executive session.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are talking about sensitive matters here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it should be just occur. executive committee members
Yeah.
that is having this discussion, because we wanna be sensitive to people and respect them. We don't wanna have this,
Definitely.
yeah.
You just need to check the bylaws to see how you get rid of an officer.
No,
We saw that.
There's
It has to go
nothing-
before the executive committee before it goes to the full board within 30 days.
I believe, as if I recall, a majority of the executive
Exactly.
can remove
Mhm.
an officer, but then there has to be a whole election, which means a nominating committee. I mean, it's a whole
Mhm. Nominating committee
process.
for, I know.
Can you
You're
appoint?
better off.
You can't appoint.
You can?
You can't appoint.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't appoint, yeah. Chair can't appoint.
Okay, well,
But
there you go.
but you gotta get someone who wants to volunteer to do it.
Well, you have a lot of phone calls to make, Mr. Chairman.
I guess so. If I got that note here, so
You know, why don't you just tell Stewie you really needed an extra amount of time, give him the choice,
He did.
and if it's yes, yeah, but now it's the.
I'm gonna say I spoke to the
Right, and if it's
executive
yes,
committee and the chairs, and this is
you
unanimous
know,
vote
be
that.
compromising,
yeah.
say in, I don't know, 10 days from the meeting, okay? Because you don't need him prior to that per se. And give him the choice,
Okay.
and that way it'll be his action.
So the next,
One last shot.
one last
Yeah.
shot. But so you're still gonna copy tomorrow?
Sure.
right?
I can
Thank
do
you.
it, I'll pitch in for now.
Cool. The next bullet is,
I have
sure, I'm
I'm sorry,
sorry.
one other thing about minutes. So with the minutes for the overall board meeting, we have a moment during the regular meeting where people can make changes to those meetings or suggest changes.
Wait, say that
Right?
again?
When you look over the minutes,
Yes.
we don't do that for committee reports. So I got into a situation where my minutes were not completely accurate, but nobody told me that, or I didn't think to go back to those minutes and make sure that they were correct.
Correct.
I submitted them as a lot of us do quickly and just try, and then you move on, and suddenly somebody's looking back at the minutes from 4 months ago, and you realize you need to make a change. I'm the one who did the minutes. I need to make a change. What's the process for that? Like, if you want to make a change, frankly, I don't read through all the minutes very carefully, but if I did, I might notice some mistakes. Maybe the wrong people were at the meeting or whatever.
I know. So if that comes up at a board meeting, in real time, you make the change, and you vote on it.
Exactly, at the
that
board
point.
meeting.
Okay.
But the step before that, the minutes probably should be voted on at the committee level first.
That's what I
Oh,
heard that.
Demetrius, do you say?
Hold on a
do
second,
that?
so you're saying
Change?
the committee minutes should be voted on the,
They should.
But
At the
technically, they
beginning.
should.
Just like at the board meeting.
They
Put it
should.
On your committee level.
Yeah,
That's
so-
it.
At the beginning of the
since-
committee
oh, that's
meeting,
your
you read the minutes from the last
from the
time.
last meeting?
Well, they
And
would-
I would have gotten into a lot less trouble.
Yeah.
We've
Did
done that
everyone
because
read the
somebody
minutes?
would've said, hey,
Can we
what's up
vote
with
on
these minutes?
And if they didn't vote on them, if they didn't read them, then go back and read them. We're not gonna waste time in the meeting to do that.
Correct,
Right.
correct,
Go back
correct.
and we'll vote next time.
See,
We'll vote
my-
at the meeting.
My
That's
concern
just
is that members of committees in general, if they have an issue with the committee, the first step is always to go to the chair of the committee. It's not to take it to the executive committee or to the board chairman.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times these things will be resolved.
Exactly.
I'm getting blindsided with something that
Unless
was
people
never
just-
brought to my attention. It was
Unless
only
they
brought
just
to
wanna
the
make
attention.
trouble, but the proper procedure is that.
You go to the chair.
Yeah, and then the whole committee. Like if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit it.
Are we,
But I
are
gotta
we
be told.
discussing that now?
No, we're not.
No,
we're
I'm
not.
just-
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
should-
saying that's something that came about because there wasn't a clear reading of the minutes each time in committee, and that's got to be done.
Gotcha, so we're gonna.
And I've been remiss, and Michael said he's been remiss, and I
As well as myself, so we all take,
What I do is, as soon as I do my minutes, I send them out to my committee.
okay.
And as I transmit them to Terry, I send it to Demetrius and to everybody on the committee. And then if they have any comments, they just get back to me.
But at the next meeting, do you?
You don't
No,
have to
no,
make,
this is prior to our meeting.
yeah, because you don't have to
Correct.
make any because
They're
corrections already
corrected.
made.
If there's any comments, you integrate them
I
before
think that's a great
that.
idea.
But do you vote on them in your meeting?
Huh?
Do you vote on them?
On the minutes?
Mhm.
Yeah, at the next meeting.
Should.
That they're fine,
We
that they're
don't-
approved, you approved
we
me,
don't
you
do
approved
that.
me.
But
Should.
actually, we don't, but we can.
Yeah.
Because I assume,
So we should do that. Committee should vote on it, right?
Email them out
just
with the
email them
corrections.
out.
Just
And
approve the
then vote.
minutes.
Because no one's
um,
everybody.
And that way it's checked off by not just you, there's some checks and balances.
Yeah.
And so by the time it gets to the board,
Yes.
they weren't at the meeting. They
Yes.
just have to say, okay, these were voted on by the committee,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a formality by the board.
It used to be, and I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it used to be that I would send notes to the district manager, and she would type them up, and when I saw them, they would often look very different than what I sent her.
Yes.
Because she had sort of a
Nope.
standard
Yeah.
look and feel that she wanted to get across. So I'm glad we're not having that problem anymore.
Correct. So I
But that
think-
means that we've got more responsibility on
That's right.
ourselves
Mhm.
to make sure that they're,
So does everyone agree that we send those minutes from your committee to your committee members for their review before voting on it?
Sure.
And then when we go to the full board meeting, it's like,
Well,
They've been approved by the committee.
exactly,
Has everyone had a chance to read them? Then they're approved by the board.
exactly.
And when you leave us, you have to have them, when you say accept the minutes and the committee minutes.
Mhm.
So, Mr. Chairman, one
Yes,
other
sir.
thing, what Tim just brought up, I think it's important if anyone comes to you complaining about a committee chair, you need to, I would have a conversation with that committee chair, or send them back to the committee chair to
Sure.
deal with it, to give them the benefit of the doubt that it was dealt with.
Correct.
Maybe you connect us on email,
Mhm.
you know, in a very casual way.
So to that point, I didn't want to go into that, but go ahead, Beck. You want to
Well,
say
since
something?
it seemed that it's.
It seemed like we're going right back into that
coming
area.
up and it's going in there. We're going into it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, yeah.
So we might as well just deal with it now.
Correct.
I don't think, okay, if anyone had a complaint of any kind, everyone is saying it should go to the chair first of that committee and be discussed there, and then trying to come to some resolution.
Mhm.
But the person chose to come to the executive committee.
Correct.
Mhm.
So the decision that we made at that time was for it to go back to the chair,
That's right.
okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, go talk
That's
to
what
them.
was discussed.
that's how it should be.
To go back to the chair and find out just what took place in those meetings.
Mhm.
Then we could come back to the executive committee, and before it goes to the full board for board, it would be all cleared up.
Mhm.
That was the intent.
So I was
So-
remiss, and that's the statement that I want to say. Once I was given the marching orders per se, to come to your transportation committee to table your Empire Boulevard, as well as share with you what was brought before the executive committee of one, the minutes not reflecting the vote, and we should not have had a revote, and two, of our committee non-board member expressing your removal. But that all goes before the executive committee, which it has. Then we should share with you, which I'm supposed to have done, but I was remiss in doing it. So that's why the email went back and forth. The email went out from Terry saying, I want to address the MTOP email. That was the MTOP email. That was when I dropped the ball. I think I shared that with you as well. Right?
so for clarification, and what you're saying is that it should have been sent back to the committee, but that's actually not what you did. What you did was to table a vote, right? So
Table the
there-
whole Empire Boulevard study.
Right, so that was making a decision that was not sending it back to committee. If you'd sent it back to committee, we would have just discussed it at that committee meeting.
No, it was
Instead,
it was,
you told the committee what to do.
no, it was to table the whole Empire Study Group to go back to, actually it was to go back to the executive committee.
It-
Table
it's-
your Empire Study
Right,
Group.
it wasn't, right, so that we could resolve the allegations that was made.
Correct.
Demetrius was supposed to speak to the chair of the transportation committee before your meeting that night about the allegations that was made,
Before the meeting.
and tried to find out exactly.
Right, and I
had-
told him what happened,
Yeah,
which
what
was,
had happened.
right, so then
And
we
we-
should have just moved forward. You should have
Not
accepted what I
necessarily.
had to
Not
say.
necessarily,
couldn't
because what we
because
needed to
there
do,
was a mo-
then he needed to come back to the
To the
executive
executive committee.
committee and said, this is what I have here, I have the minutes, I have the word of the committee that what happened, because I think there was committee members that was willing to write a letter or willing to vouch that there was a vote, and that the committee as a whole, the majority of the committee members voted for the Empire